Today I'd like to take you with me along on this job site for a client. I'll be working on refurbishing on a very tight budget a building, an old building, and we'll actually try to improve it in many ways so that he can rent it out for his boot camp campaigns. And just saying hi to someone, and that's it. So this building was a real challenge for me. It used to be a home for elderly people, and it had some serious issues when it came to plumbing. And from the time I first visited, I spotted the fact that there were not enough outlets, enough plugs around the rooms. Therefore, I knew we had to do something about the wiring. As I took up this challenge, it soon came up that we had to prioritize our jobs. We had to give priority to new plumbing and to new wiring, and everything else would have to follow after that. That automatically meant that a big chunk of our budget would have to be spent on construction work. Here we go, just walking inside. This is the big stairwell that we are going to have to do something about. This here is supposed to be the reception. This is room number 2. There's a lot of water coming from somewhere. I'm not very happy about that. This is basically what we're going to have to work with. Okay? Lots of pipes up on the ceiling. These are all stuff that need to be hidden. To actually begin a renovation, there are always issues that are going to come up, and some of them were completely unknown to begin with. And that's what makes it even a bigger challenge. Now, when you have a very short time span and a very limited budget, then you cannot really afford mistakes. You cannot afford to have problems and unknowns and things that you haven't actually budgeted for. We had a lot of rainy days, and it kind of made me nervous because it was giving us such a hard time when it came to the wall paints, because they just wouldn't dry. Everything felt so humid, and it was getting to a point where I thought, oh God, this is ridiculous. I mean, how long is it going to be raining? The paint wasn't drying fast enough, and it got me so worried. And that was the point where I thought, okay, you know, is this really going to work? Is this going to come together or not? When it came to the bathrooms, yes, we pulled it off. In 2 weeks, we managed to take down everything from the old bathrooms and have 14 new bathrooms. Now, I chose 2 shades of a 30 by 60 centimeter tile that resembles stone. And the reason for that was to introduce something that feels more organic, while at the same time adds depth, that was neutral enough not to create a conflict with the remaining of the existing floor that we were to keep, and enough for us to make it work with the rest of the theme. I had to make sure that everything looked cohesive, put together as one theme, that everything fell under one theme. And that wasn't so easy to do, but color blocking, though, helped me resolve that. By tackling each room and color blocking it as an entity of its own, and that entity of its own serving a bigger whole turned out to be the best approach, because I could kind of bring out some features of each room, or hide away some of those things, unwanted things that I did not want people to focus on, and that allowed me at the end to build an identity. It's our Easter break, and I'm on my way 3 weeks later up to the hostel. I want to try to set up a couple of rooms today, maybe more if possible, and I want to take you along with me to show you what it's all about, what it has turned out to be. Then it took us about a week to sort out the painting of the rooms. I wanted it to be fun, and I thought color blocking was a good way to go about it. I could have added more color blocking, but I thought that was just about enough to make it work and create a few focal points to make it more fun and joyful and something to talk about. I wanted the people who stay in that building to have this aftertaste of a good, joyful stay that would be comfortable, that would be fun, and that would be a little bit out of the ordinary. And so far, it seems to be working. The entrance gave me a headache. That was probably one of the first things that I knew was going to be a challenge, especially because we couldn't take down any walls and we couldn't have things redone. So I had to work around that and customize a new door and make something about the opening next to it. Despite all of the problems that kept on coming up and popping here and there was a good vibe, and that really helped us to get things done.